Man, I really enjoyed this movie. If you're looking for a fast-paced, grizzled, hand-to-hand action movie for this spring/summer, then look no further. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and tell your friends if you haven't. If you're new here, I post reviews like this a few times a week, as well as retrospectives. So check out the channel. Alright, let's dive into Monkeyman. Monkeyman is your classic revenge thriller, and it just hit all the right notes with me. Devpatel stars as Kid, while also helming the director's chair. Kid suffered tragedy as a child. His village is forced off their land by corrupt police chief Rana. Rana and his men massacre the village. Kid is hidden by his mother Neela and is doomed to watch as Rana rapes and kills her in front of him. From this point on, Kid vows to get revenge against Rana as well as Baba, a ruthless spiritual leader who handles Rana. The plot of this film is very straightforward. As I alluded to, it's a classic beat-em-up revenge action flick. And I have to say, I've always loved Patel as an actor. In fact, I think he's one of the best younger actors working today. But man, oh man, I was impressed with his directing. This is his directorial debut, and you wouldn't know it. Everything in this film just fired on all cylinders for me. The story, the acting, the action, the humor, the choreography, the soundtrack. Man, the soundtrack is fantastic. I think the aspect that I appreciated the most about this movie was how believable it was. Look, it's an action movie, so there are going to be some things that are just a bit over the top. That's the genre. But there are little things in this movie that occur where you think to yourself, yeah, I mean, that seems legit. For instance, early in the film, Kid is hired as a dishwasher at a high-end brothel that is frequented by Rana. One night, Kid attempts to kill him in the bathroom. He fails, both men injuring each other in their initial confrontation. The club's security is alerted and shit just hits the fan. The realistic aspect comes into play during Kid's attempted escape. Making his way out of the bathroom, he sees no way out but a shut window on the opposite end of the hallway. The music halts as he glares it down, and everyone in the theater is thinking, this badass psychopath is going to jump out that window. And Kid charges the window and boom, bounces right off. It's a scene which is equally realistic as it is humorous. I also appreciated the fact that Kid isn't this outrageously elusive, skilled hand-to-hand combatant. He's familiar with fighting, as he makes part of his living as a boxer in an underground club who sports a monkey mask, hence the Monkeyman moniker. However, he's incentivized to lose in these matches and shed a lot of blood, so he knows how to fight, sort of, but you can tell he's not overly competent. This becomes more apparent in his initial confrontation with Rana. Although Rana is wounded as well in their fight, he mostly gets the best of Kid. It's very clear that he's way in over his head. After Kid is shot by police during his escape, he's rescued, cared for, and trained by Alpha, the leader of a sanctuary whose community is threatened by Baba. There is a brief training montage during this section of the film which is just great. The music over top of it is really what sells it. A lone member of Alpha's group just going to town on a pair of bongos while Patel does work. It's a lot of fun. Then we hit the climax, and it is epic. Just chock full of close quarters, claustrophobic action. Kid punches his way through the kitchen, hilariously slaughters two henchmen in an elevator, and with a little help from Alpha and his warriors, he makes his way through the VIP lounge as he defeats Rana in a rematch and finally enacts his revenge on Baba, losing his life in the process as well. The great things about this finale are that it's very well choreographed, it's gruesome and bloody, it's somehow comical in certain moments, and Patel just sells every single punch. And most importantly, it's paced so well. I feel like sometimes in action flicks today, Some of the climaxes just go on, and they don't know when to cut it off. This climax gets straight to the point and doesn't overstay its welcome. As you can tell, I really admired the action and the set pieces in this movie, but that shouldn't detract from the rest of this film. The direction as well as the cinematography are both very well executed. The camera work, especially during the fight sequences, as well as the scenes in the boxing arena, are just impeccable. You never feel like you're being whipped around without knowing exactly what you're looking at. The acting is top notch. Patel absolutely nails this role. He sells every emotion as well as every fight sequence. The rest of the cast is fantastic as well. Although not in the movie as much, Charlton Copley and Pito Bash are both a delight as Tiger and Alfonso respectively. Both characters serve as welcome comic reliefs in an otherwise bleak film. Alright, I'm gonna butcher these two next names, so I apologize in advance. Both Sikander Kher and Makaran Deshpande are great as our two villains, even though we don't get a lot of time with either. Both serve as imposing physical and psychological barriers for Kid in this movie. This story is very simple and is by no means groundbreaking whatsoever, but it works. It does what it needs to do and it gets the job done. But the highlight of this movie is by far the action. I recommend it for that facet alone, but I was very pleased with all of the other aspects of this movie. If you're looking for a quick, enjoyable, action-packed night out at the movies and want to see Dev Patel just beat the absolute shit out of people, go see Monkeyman. It's a great time.